life on campus in general certainly has to be different, but when you are one of only two teams that aren't doing anything and everyone else is, what has that been like? I mean, does it make the time that you finally are able to get out there together mean much more than maybe it would in the past?
Yeah, so with not going to lie, it definitely stunk having to wait like a couple extra weeks than all the other sports here. But I mean, the fact that we were able to even be on campus and get to be in Turner is amazing. A lot of schools got sent home like 1 or 2 weeks after they got on campus. So it's really awesome the precautions that this school is taking to keep us safe and keep us on campus. And, even when we were still waiting, we were able to be down in Wake with Coach Smith and Coach Wilson 3 times a week, which was awesome. So, but even if it was 6 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and we were split into 2 teams, again, the fact that we were able to even be all together was really awesome.
So take me through what practice looks like now regarding how many can you have at practice at one time? Are you wearing masks? What does it look like if I walked in the gym? What would I see?
So we're all allowed to practice right now, which is really awesome. We all get to be together. We have to come in one way. There's only one entrance that we can come in. We wear our masks all the time, every drill that we do. And then if we need a break or something, there's a designated area where we can take off our mask. We're sanitizing all the time. Like if we even fidget with our mask, we hand sanitize. After we get water, we hand sanitize. And we're not, right, as of right now, we're not doing anything with contact. So we're using chairs for defense, which is interesting, very
Yeah.
interesting. But it is what it is. And after every practice, we wipe down our balls with what's called Whizzer. Not sure where that name came from or if it's like a cleaning product or something, but we have like our own designated like women's basketball Whizzer where we like spray down our balls and wipe them. So
What have you noticed since being back with the team? I guess when you look at morale and the environment, what have you noticed? Is it really that what you just mentioned? Hey, I'm just glad to be here. I'm glad we can play. Or are there people still kind of skittish on passing a ball that's been touched by someone else and, those safety precautions?
well, when we first started, we weren't even allowed to pass the ball to each other. So we
Hmm.
each have our own ball, and we still have that rule where we each have our own ball and we bring it to practice. But it was definitely really weird and very different when we weren't able to pass each other the ball, because that's literally what basketball is all about, is like sharing the ball and stuff. So yeah, and then I guess we were just more like anxious to like be able to progress, to be able to do more stuff. And so, I mean, we're taking all the precautions that we can, hand sanitizing, spraying the ball after practice. And like if we fidget with our mask again, we hand sanitize. And it's definitely different. And I mean, no one seems to be like skittish about it, but I mean, they might be hiding it really well. But yeah, no, I haven't really heard anything. But we're just really happy that we're just able to progress to doing more stuff.
I'm curious, especially from someone in your position who came in as a freshman, had playing time right away. You look back on how you were brought through the system of women's basketball at Lynchburg, and then you look at any newcomers this year. How do you get them acclimated when you're not allowed to meet as a group? You can't even go in your locker room? Like, just there are things that normally you'd be able to do and just say, hey, are you having a tough time? No problem. Let's just get together and wherever we want to go and talk about it. But now you have to, well, do you have FaceTime? Can we do it that way? Because I can't. So
Yeah.
I have not asked anybody that. And I think it's a really important piece to this puzzle for anyone who's in their first year, whether they're a freshman or a transfer, those that have been here. How are you guys getting them acclimated? How are you guys helping them come along with something that even you're foreign to.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I was a freshman, I was like really nervous about everything, and just the transition from high school to college is like a whole 180 on your life. And I mean, I did have help with that. And so I knew that I had to be there for the freshmen because they're not only coming in to like a whole new, like it's a brand new transition, but they're coming in during this pandemic, which probably doesn't ease their minds or their parents' minds.
Yeah.
So, honestly, our phones are our best friends. So, I mean, just texting all the time, just being like, hey, you want to like meet up outside somewhere? Like, I'm down for that. And just if you ever, just reaching out to them has really helped, just texting like, hey, if you ever need to talk about anything, I'm here. I was in the same position that you were in, and just trying to make them feel more comfortable because Lynchburg's like a home away from home. And for some people, that's harder to realize. And so, especially with, again, everything going on. But yeah, just like reaching out to them and just, hey, we're all in this together. Like, you're not alone is really important.
There's no anybody who's been around in the last 2 years knows small things like when Joe walks into a room and Erin's there, Erin's going to yell, "Is that the voice of the Hornets?" Every time. And then on top of that, people just they can see whether it's through a video lens, camera lens, or just at the game itself. You have this way of kind of bringing some comic relief or just some happiness to a situation that might be really intense.
Yeah.
Um, and I think any team that has that person tends to do pretty well because you've got a good balance. And we know Coach Isaac Smith, she's pretty intense. So somebody needs to be there to make some
Don't
people.
get me in trouble now.
No, I'm gonna be the one in trouble. I'm gonna be the one in trouble. But I haven't seen her in like 6 months, so
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah. Anyway, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I'm sure I'll get a few questions later on. But nevertheless, I just want to go. I want to go to that part of your personality and your role in the team in that area. Not X's and O's, but it's a good team is really close and good off the court as well. I'm curious from your perspective, is that a conscious decision? Is that just who you are, just the personality that you have, and it just comes out that way? Is it a nervous tick? All those things. I'm just curious. I just would like to know what it is. What's the secret?
Um, well, I mean, I definitely do have an interesting personality. I mean, you guys always seem to have the camera on me every single time I embarrass myself. So thank you guys for that.
And
Um,
other people, when you block people and stuff, you embarrass them too. Don't we get you both ways. We're very balanced.
no, but it just seems literally every time I just like trip over my own feet or I'm just like doing a crazy dance move, like
Mm,
y'all are there to catch it, which
yeah.
is
Or the
great. I
the
love
three
it.
eyes thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That stuff.
goggles,
Yeah, the
3-point
goggles.
goggles.
Yeah.
But yeah, like when we're in practice and it gets to be tense, I'm typically the one cracking jokes and just, I mean, I'm sure Coach Pricing and Coach Crump love that, but I mean, it also helps relax the team and calm the team down and be able to move on to the next thing. But yeah, I mean, wasn't always like this, if that makes sense. I mean, all throughout high school and even my freshman year and half of my sophomore year, I had this issue where I would like nitpick every single thing that I did when it came to basketball. And so like I could have the career night of my life with high in points, high in rebounds, crazy double double. And I could still only find the negative things that I did. Like I couldn't really see the positives out of anything. And just being so hard on myself and not seeing the good in anything I did. Um, it was just, it got to the point where, I mean, with basketball and nursing, with all that work that it entails, and trying to have a social life on top of all that. I mean, it got to the point where it was like, what is the point of playing basketball when all I'm going to do is be hard on myself? And I was really good at putting up this wall where, I mean, I would be cracking jokes and everything, but like on the inside, I was just so exhausted from being so hard on myself and just having this anxiety about, I have this big paper due. I have to do all these calculations for nursing. And it just got to the point where it just completely overwhelmed me. And at that point, I was like, I need to do something about this because I can't keep suffering on my own, if that makes sense. And just like trying to hold it in. And so I think after the first week of practice sophomore year, I actually went into coach's office and I talked about how I was feeling and how I was like kind of iffy about playing basketball. And they were definitely surprised because, again, I did such a good job at hiding it that they didn't expect that out of me. Because, again, I had such a crazy personality where I was cracking jokes all the time and being the comic relief, like you said. Um, but, and it's just so, it's honestly terrifying having to admit to not only yourself, but to other people that you're struggling. And so that was my biggest fear about telling other people. But I'm so blessed that they were just so understanding and all they wanted to do was help me get better. And so, because again, there's that stigma around mental health about talking about it and, just having to like be tough all the time, especially like as a female, you can't be seen as like crying all the time because there's that stereotype around
Right. Well, a
females.
female athlete in general, you're
Yeah,
supposed to be tougher than normal females. So,
yeah. And like try to be tougher than male athletes and just show, like we're the same or whatever. And so, yeah, they gave me these resources that I could use and actually use some of the resources on campus, which is really awesome. And I was able to figure out why I was doing this to myself and ways to not like have such a self-deprecating mentality. And I mean, to be able to, you can only control what you can control. And so you can't really focus so much on the negatives rather than like the positives. Like, normally if I didn't really score that much or something like that, normally I'd just be like, oh, well, you could have scored more and, help the team more. Like that was what I would do a year ago. But now I'm just like, you gave in like so many good assists to people and they ended up having their career highs. So trying to focus more on the team rather than myself was definitely something that I needed to grow in. And also just like telling my teammates how I was feeling. Cause again, like it's really scary to admit that you're not okay all the time. And so having that meeting with the team, I mean, again, they were also kind of surprised, but I mean, they didn't see me any different and they were able to like pick up when I wasn't really my best in practice and able to talk me out and just help me like be more there for basketball. And I mean, sometimes I still have my off days. I mean, it's not like I'm going to be happy all the time. Like there's still days where I just don't even want to get out of bed still.
mhm.
And I mean, just like effectively communicating with everyone has definitely helped. And I surrounded myself with some awesome people that don't see me as anything less than what I was before. And I mean, definitely basketball is like 2 hours out of my day where like all I need to do is focus on basketball and not worry about everything else that I have going on. And so just trying to give 110% of myself in each practice is something that, I mean, I'm still working on, but I'm definitely much more there than I was a year ago. And I mean, I can say, I mean, comparing myself to who I was a year ago is so different. I mean, I never would have been able to say this a year ago, but I'm so proud of myself of how far I've come. And I mean, now my goofiness is genuine rather than just like, like, but now, I'm like the funny one on the team or whatever, just like getting people hyped and having people have more energy. And it's not fake anymore,
Right.
which is awesome.